Welcome back. Today is lesson number 3, the relationship fundraising blueprint. In lesson 1, from pressure to purpose, we changed our mindset. We learned to raise belief instead of money. In lesson 2, building a cause people want to fund, we clarified what that cause was. We learned that people fund transformation, not programs. And today, we're going to talk about people. We're going to talk about relationships because people don't give to causes they don't know. They give through those relationships. So here's the big idea: ministries grow at the speed of relationships. Every healthy ministry is built on relationships. You and I both know you can't do ministries without them. And discipleship is all about having a relationship with someone, and you can't lead people you don't know. So John Maxwell says to lead is to have influence. So I believe anyone can lead, which also means that to have influence with someone, you have to have a relationship. Fundraising really is no different. Money doesn't move because of pressure. Money moves at the speed of trust, and trust is built through relationships. The problem we face is that we want that money to come faster than the speed of those relationships. Believe me, it will cost you if you don't do it the right way. I was working with this country who was in a hurry to build a building. We walked through this strategic plan to not only raise money, but to build a donor base that would help them to be sustainable. They did raise the money very quickly for the building because the director was so good at sharing the need, but he never did anything to develop those relationships. When he needed the donors at the most important time to maintain the buildings, he had to start all over. If he would have followed our plan to start by building relationships first and bringing the donors along, he would have had a sustainable program that would have endured. Instead, he had to go through a season of struggle and is still struggling today because he missed his window of opportunity. Remember, money moves at the speed of trust, but trust can be broken. Here's some big myths. Many leaders believe that their problem is if I could just get more donors. That's usually not true, unless you are probably starting out. The problem isn't a lack of donors. The problem is usually shallow relationships. Most ministries spend their time trying to meet more people, and healthy ministries spend their time knowing the right people. We all have these 80-20 rules, right? Well, here's what I've learned after years of fundraising: a small percentage of people will provide the majority of your financial support. In fact, I just got a report just recently that said this very specific thing. So, how do we leverage those people? It's true in churches, it's true in nonprofits, it's true in universities, it's true almost everywhere. So, how do we leverage that? Your goal isn't to have thousands of donor relationship. Your goal should be to intentionally shepherd, keyword shepherd, love on the people God has already placed in your life. This is very important. Depth always beats width. Here's a crazy thing: when you are faithful with a little, God provides you with more. In my devotions this morning from Mark, Jesus is going up to the temple and he sees this fig tree that is supposed to be producing fruit, but isn't. So he curses it. And when he comes back out, the disciples notice the tree is dead. And unfortunately, this is the same with a lot of our ministries, isn't it? If we don't take care of what we have, why would God give us more to steward? Relationship fundraisings look very different from traditional fundraising. Traditional fundraising, and what I was taught a long time ago, was send another letter, send another email, run another campaign. These are great ways to draw in new donors from the very beginning, maybe, but it's always transactional. The best way to explain it is traditional fundraising has always been about what we can get from it, whereas relationship fundraising says, hey, maybe we should slow down, listen, learn someone else's story, build trust, know what it is that they are passionate about. People don't want to feel like a transaction. They want to feel like they are part of the ministry. They want to feel like a partner. We need to start thinking like a pastor. Here's something I want you to remember: you're not becoming a salesperson, you're becoming a shepherd. Good pastors know their people. They listen, they pray, and they encourage. Maybe that's a problem. A good pastor, they build trust over time. The same principle applies to fundraising. You're simply shepherding people towards generosity. I gave you a worksheet. I provided you along with this video, and I would like for you to open it. This worksheet may become one of the most valuable tools in the entire course. Here's what I'd like you to do. Start by writing down your top 25 relationships. Don't overthink it. Ask yourself, who already believes in this ministry? Who already believes in you? Who trusts me? Who has demonstrated generosity? Who has influence? Who has the capacity to make a significant impact? Write down every name that comes to your mind. Don't worry about the amounts. Just think about the relationships. Now I want you to ask yourself this: where is each person today? Are they simply aware of your ministry? Are they interested? Are they engaged? A consistent partner? An advocate who brings others along? Mark where each person fits. This isn't about judging people, it's about knowing how to serve them. So here's what's next, or next steps. Most leaders ask, when should I ask? I think that's the wrong question. Instead of ask, this is what you should be asking: what's the next step in the relationship? Because maybe it's coffee or lunch or a campus tour or a phone call, sending a thank you note, or sharing a story. Every relationship has a next step, but don't skip that next step. Listen more than you talk, okay? Because one of the biggest mistakes fundraisers make is they talk too much. People love talking about themselves, so let them talk. Ask questions, listen carefully, learn their story, discover what they care about, understand why they give. The more you listen, the better you'll serve them. So, what do we do when we make that first visit? When you meet with someone, don't start with your ministry. I know, crazy, huh? Start with them. Ask questions like, tell me your story. How did you first become involved or interested in what we are doing? What are you passionate about? What has God been teaching you lately? What ministries have impacted your life? Or what ministries are you getting involved in? Those conversations build trust, and trust begins to open doors. Trust begins to break down barriers. See, people support people. Here's something I've learned: people may write a check to an organization, but they give because of a relationship with a person. Never hide behind emails, never hide behind brochures, never hide behind newsletters. Get face to face whenever possible, because relationships grow conversations. This is extremely important to understand. One of the things in capital campaign fundraising that I think is extremely important for you to understand is that if you're going to make a large ask, you should never make a large ask by an email or a letter or even Zoom or by a phone call. You need to make an attempt to go to them. And in fact, we tell our major gift officers that the first couple times you better go to them, not to even have a conversation to them about money, just to present the need. You're there to continue to grow on that relationship. It's going to take multiple visits. Why? Because the relationship is more important than the money. We believe that God owns the cattle on the hill, and he will stir within their hearts what it is that will be needed for the project. It's not our job to tell them what to give us. It's God's job to work on their hearts, and we want them to get involved because that's what we believe God is doing within their hearts to get involved. So remember not to miss those steps. Relationships is the key to moving forward. So what should you be doing? Look at your list again in the next 90 days. Circle your top 5 people, and these are the relationships you'll intentionally invest in over the next 3 months. Your goal isn't to ask all five for money. Your goal is to strengthen those relationships. Some conversations may never include an ask, and that's okay. Healthy relationships create future opportunities. You need to wait for them to give you the right to ask. Eventually, you're going to get to the place where they're going to say, "How can I help?" And then that's when you have the right to say, "Well, here is our need." Man, but don't rush it. Wait for God to open the door because the relationship is more important than anything else. So here's the challenge this week: schedule at least 3 meetings, not fundraising meetings, relationship meetings. Go with one goal, learn something you didn't know before. If you leave knowing their story better, you've succeeded. So here's my closing thoughts. Remember, fundraising isn't about transactions, it's built on trust. Trust is built through relationships. Relationships take time, but healthy relationships create long term partners who believe deeply in your mission. Don't chase donors, invest in people. Because when people believe in you and believe in your mission, generosity becomes a natural response. In our final lesson, we're going to build your 12-month generosity system. You're going to learn how to create a repeatable rhythm that keeps donors informed, engaged, appreciated, and inspired all year long. So fundraising becomes a culture, not a crisis. We'll see you next time.